Hello Pokemon trainers, welcome back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video here on iStarly TV. Got a brand new deck today. I wanted to feature some cards that I think are a little less commonly used, and I kind of threw this deck together. I built this deck. Now I will say, you see the title of the deck is Garchomp, kind of a weird name. It's because this was a version of the deck where I was playing Glameow and Rocket Grunt, or I'm sorry, Team Galactic Grunt. And if you saw my Garchomp EX video, which if I remember, I'll put a card right here if you want to watch that one if you haven't seen it. It was a deck where you play the Garchomp line, in that case it was the Garchomp EX line, with Glameow and Team Galactic Grunt as well as Pokemon Communication, and the goal is to kind of like, just kind of sift through the deck. Like Glameow's mainly there as like a, fodder basically, like so you can churn through the deck, you can discard it, you can throw it away to Communication, stuff like that. But that was a fun deck, and originally I built it with the regular Garchomp in mind. However, what I ended up doing was swapping out the Glameow and Team Galactic Grunt cards entirely, and just replaced it with Snorlax. I've been really enjoying Snorlax, the new Snorlax from Triumphant Light, and with Berry, you can attack with Snorlax pretty early as turn 2, and there are some situations where you can kind of like, if you have double Berry, you can attack with Berry, with 2 energy on Snorlax, and then the next turn put another energy, and if you have another berry, you can attack again. And then the turn after that, you can put another energy on Snorlax, and you don't need berry anymore because you'll have the 4 energy. So 4 energy is a pretty steep cost, but Snorlax has a massive HP stat. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the Pokemon with the highest HP stat. The basic non-EX Pokemon with the highest HP stat. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe there's some others. But either way, it's a massive HP stat for a basic Pokemon. And then the goal is to kind of use Snorlax to do a lot of damage and then set up on our bench to get to Garchomp, at which point Garchomp also does a lot of damage, and we're running Cynthia to boost Garchomp's damage. With Cynthia, Garchomp can basically one-hit KO most of the common EX Pokemon in the meta, such as Darkrai, Arceus, Dialga, Palkia. A lot of them die to 150 damage. That is a ton of damage. And also Garchomp has the Reckless Shearing ability, which also lets us kind of churn through our deck, which can be very useful. So yeah, this is a fun looking deck. I wanted to try to play Irida, like 1 copy of Irida, just to heal and sustain our Pokemon since we are running water energy. But I don't really know where that would go. Maybe in the place of either Pokeball or Communication. Let me actually try that. I don't know, I kind of felt like all of these cards have a purpose in the deck, but maybe we're not so desperate to play Communication at this point, or maybe it is Pokeball. I don't know, we're going to take out a Communication and see. We might end up regretting that, but, you know, you get to see in real time me kind of, making changes to the deck. So that's the deck. Let's get to some games and see how it does. All right. Lead Snorlax. Unfortunately, we are on the, or we are going first. Froakie deck. Okay, this could be, it's a Darkrai, Greninja, Druddigon deck. Those are really annoying. I guess somewhat luckily we do draw the Gibble, but look how awkward this is. This happened last game too. We had so many Cynthias. We had 2 Cynthias in hand. So this is really awkward. The upside though, I mean, the worst case scenario is we see a Darkrai, which we're gonna see one right now. I guess they could play Druddigon as well. My point that I'm trying to get at is if I can load up energy on Snorlax, I can go for the Collapse somewhat early, excuse me, and knock out a good chunk of their, like there's a lot of their Pokemon that would die to a Collapse, which sounds kind of weird to say, but they are looking for that Darkrai. I mean, even Darkrai takes a ton of damage from Collapse. But again, it's just so terribly awkward to see double Berry, double Cynthia there, and then that's just the worst possible draw. So our draws have not been kind to us in this game, but next turn we are going to get to attack. And I guess the upside of having 2 berries is we will get to chain 2 100 power moves in a row. Well, actually, you know, I didn't talk about this, but it's not guaranteed. Snorlax does put itself to sleep, so that is not guaranteed that we're going to, get those attacks off. A second Snorlax is nice. Honestly, I think I just Communication here. I mean, putting a second Snorlax on the bench is not bad, but I think having like a potential Gabite here is also pretty strong. And there's a Garchomp. Okay. Well, we're still going to do this, and then we're going to bury, and we're going to knock out Druddigon. Of course, we are going to take 40. My opponent has, I think, no water energy in their deck, or at least they're not going to be drawing one. So even if they evolve into Greninja, they are not going to be able to knock us out. I guess they wouldn't knock us out anyway, but they would, if they were able to attack with a Greninja, they would do 20 with their ability and then 60, so that would take us down to 20, which is scary, but because they can't do that, dang it, okay. Because they can't do that, it's not that scary. We do get another chance to wake up, though. And we'll see what energy we draw and what energy we hit, and then what card we draw as well. Because that could determine, like, what we do. This is definitely rough here. Now, honestly, I'm wishing I had that second Snorlax. I kind of regret throwing away that Snorlax, especially because I found Garchomp there. There we go. I'll take that. And a helmet. How do we do this? So we get to collapse. Okay, collapse, knock out Froakie. They go into, I'm not sure it matters who they go into. They get to put an energy onto Darkrai. They get to do 40 to Snorlax, 20 from the ability of Darkrai, 20 from the ability of Greninja. I'm at 20 HP. And then okay, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's just see how this plays out. I'm not gonna spend too long thinking. And then we get to collapse once again. Oh, we have to bury, of course. But you can see the power. If you have 2 berries, you get to basically collapse 3 turns in a row. You get to deal 100 damage 3 turns in a row, which when decks are setting up like that is a ton of damage. You just plow through their team like we have been. Unfortunately, though, their last Pokemon have over 100 HP, so of course, you know, they are going to be surviving another collapse. But let's flip a coin here. Okay, I guess if my opponent, well, that's great. I guess if my opponent has Dawn, we could lose our Snorlax here. And if that happens, that is awful. That is a worst case scenario. However, if it doesn't happen, this is going to be cutting it close. I think we really need. Yeah, actually, this is a really tough situation. Oh, they put it on. Why did they put it on Greninja? Was that a misplay? Wait, why did they? Wait, what happened? Why would you put it on Greninja instead of Darkrai? What? That was weird. Are they sparing me? All right, if we find a second Snorlax, I mean, I guess that's something. What else can we do here? Well, yeah, this is scary. This is terrifying, but we collapse. I mean, this Snorlax carried the game. This Snorlax absolutely carried the game. We get Tails. That doesn't matter. I'm expecting for my opponent to knock me out here. And they can knock me out without taking 20 from the Rocky Helmet, which is actually really bad. Yeah, that's actually awful. Oh, you know what? I guess that's why. Well, that still doesn't explain why they put the energy on Greninja, right? Or actually, maybe that's smart. You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, if they had put the... Actually, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Excuse me. They could still have Dawn. I can't see their energy. I think they already played one. If we play Snorlax, we would need to find Helmet. I'm gonna play Gibble here. We might just lose. If they have Dawn, we're dead. We're not literally dead, but at that point, I don't really know what we could do. Oh, we draw Gabite. Huh. But we need 2 energy. If we had... Oh, man. I mean, yeah, it's not working in our favor yet, but let's think about this. We attack them, but then they get to kill me. Either way, even if I evolve Gabite, they kill me. I think we're losing this one. Something that could potentially happen... Well, it doesn't even change much. Yeah, this is scary. I was going to say something that could happen is if we draw Rocky Helmet, we get to put it on our Snorlax, and then we basically just sit back and Like, if they attack us, like, they die. I don't know. Yeah, this deck is still really annoying to play against, this Darkrai, or yeah, Darkrai, Greninja, Dredagon deck. We're dead. We go into Snorlax. We kind of need Helmet here, although I think we're dead. Well, if we find Helmet, we're not. Oh, we found the Helmet. I mean, the thing is, we need 4 energy on Snorlax in order to attack with it, but the funny thing is, now if they attack me with Darkrai, they are dead. And the big downside to their deck is only Darkrai can attack. Like, sure, they're capable of doing, like, chip damage with all of their Pokemon, which is really annoying to play against, but Darkrai is the only Pokemon in their entire deck that attacks with those dark energies. So this kind of lets us just sit back here. We take 40 a turn, but we are also building up... Okay, well, sure. We are also building up our Snorlax. Yeah, well, that's kind of a weird switch. I feel like they would go into Greninja there. I don't know, dude. We're dead. We lose this game here. We're taking 40 a turn. I guess we could draw Irida, and that buys us another turn. There's a chance we could still win this, but I highly doubt it. Well, that second Darkrai doesn't really matter because... Oh, I guess putting a Rocky Helmet on Dredagon makes it so that we could possibly draw. Or tie, rather. But anyway, that second Darkrai kind of doesn't really matter. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry, it does matter. Because once they get 3 energy on that Darkrai, they can just go into it and attack me with their 80 damage move, and then they don't die to the Helmet. I think that's game. We needed to draw Irida here. Well, yeah, that's game. We needed to draw Irida here. Research obviously doesn't really do enough here. I'm just going to go for it just in case. Yeah, playing Gible doesn't matter either. We had a fun run with this deck. This game was pretty cool. Like, there was actually a chance we could have won, which is actually insane. But, yeah, unfortunately, in the beginning, we didn't really draw great. But we got to go triple berry, or triple collapse, I mean. Yeah, there's nothing we can do. If we had drawn Irida, though, we would actually... Oh my god, if we had drawn Irida, we just needed that single card, and we could win the game. I think we would win the game with Irida, because we would go back up to 80, so that their abilities would not kill me the following turn. And then I get to put an energy on Snorlax, and then the following turn I get to put the 4th energy and potentially knock out their Dredagon. Although I think that would be a tie, but I would obviously take a tie over losing, so GG's. We're up against Thanos. I guess he might favor coin flips, right? Taking out 50% of the universe. We are playing first again. I really don't like playing first with this deck, because we want energy on Snorlax as soon as possible, so that's kind of annoying. Although, if we find like a helmet, that'll help, because it'll kind of dissuade them. Hey, I'll take it. It'll kind of dissuade them from attacking Snorlax, which can help us buy some time. Obviously, the card that we're looking for after this is Berry. And I mean, I wonder if there's a world where we trim down. I mean, I don't know if we ever trim down on berries, because as you saw in the previous game, like, being able to chain your attacks together with Snorlax is great. But as far as the Cynthias, this has not been working for me. Okay, so because the next energy is a water energy, I'm just going to put the energy on Snorlax here. And then next turn we can put that energy on Gible. And then if the following energy is a fighting energy, we can just kind of go from there. So right now, I think I'm just going to use Snorlax as a tank. And that works fine too. Like, even if we're not attacking with Snorlax for a while, we can just kind of set up our bench. And then once we get Garchomp in play, we get to just start using its ability to kind of sift through our deck, like discard cards and draw new cards. There is Berry, which is great. Unfortunately, because we just used the research, we cannot attack with Snorlax this turn. But it was another water energy, so we're fine just not putting that on Garchomp again. And yeah, we might be able to kind of just blast through them with Snorlax again. We'll see how it plays out, though. They're loading up the energy on Slowpoke. And that, hey, 80 damage is a lot of damage. But next turn we can Berry, because they're going to go to 110. We can Berry and Collapse, which puts them to 10. And if they attack me again, we both die, basically, which is cool. Do we need the other Pokeball? Let's kind of see how this plays out. So we're definitely going to evolve here. And because we know the following energy is a fighting energy, and also because Snorlax is almost dead, we're just going to go ahead and put the energy on Garchomp. Let's go ahead and Pokeball here. See what we hit. A second Snorlax. Honestly, I might just keep that. We need to Berry here, so we're not going to research. And I actually don't think we're going to use Garchomp's ability, even though it's tempting. So we're going to bury. Once again, we get to put them to 10, and it dissuades them from attacking with their Slowpoke, because if they do, then we both go down, which I will be fine with. If that happens, I will actually be really happy about that if they do that, because that lets me go into Garchomp for free. And I guess that's the nice thing is, despite the fact that Snorlax has such a massive retreat cost, we can get to this situation here where we're kind of like pressuring them so much with Snorlax that it kind of forces them to either knock it out or just keep taking tons of damage from it. Okay, there's the helmet on Mewtwo. Okay, so Mewtwo is a scary one. However, my opponent doesn't know that I actually have the Cynthia. So if my opponent goes into Mewtwo here, we actually get to knock them out in one hit. And because they put the Rocky helmet on their Mewtwo, that means that they cannot put a giant cape on their Mewtwo. So this could go really well for us. But let's see what they do first. Yeah, I think in their eyes, they kind of have to do that because both of their other Pokemon die to Dragon Claw without Cynthia. So they have to go into Mewtwo here. But unfortunately for them, we have the Cynthia. So finally, Cynthia came into play. And this is a game where Cynthia and Barry both really help. Like, it's kind of awkward to play like these supporters that only help one Pokemon in our deck. But when it works, it's really good. And as you saw in this game and the previous game, like, just being able to use Snorlax's move is really strong, especially with Barry. So I really like this deck. And there you have it. That is the Garchomp Snorlax deck, complete with Cynthia and Barry. A lot of supporters here, but as I've also talked about in the past, I prefer Rocky Helmet at the moment. I really like it because, you know, it kind of dissuades the opponent from attacking early, which is pretty nice. And the second game, I think the deck really functioned the way that we want it to, which is we got to do a lot of burst damage early with Snorlax, and the Rocky Helmet really was clutch there as well. And then we got to finish the game with Garchomp, and like I said, I mean, Mewtwo just dies in one hit to a Dragon Claw with Cynthia, and a lot of Pokemon in the meta also do. So, you know, between Collapse doing 100 and then maybe a couple activations of Helmet, Snorlax can also take out some of those big heavy hitter EX Pokemon as well. So yeah, I really like this deck. I think as far as the trainer base, there's a lot of swaps you could make. So let me know in the comments how you would change this deck and tailor it to your specific focuses and your specific needs. But I kind of like it as is. I mean, you know, like I said, I don't know about Cynthia here. Maybe there's a world where we don't want two Cynthias, especially because there were so many games there or so many situations where they were clogging up our hand. But I mean, when it works, it's great. So yeah, that's the awesome deck here. I really love this deck, and I love all these Pokemon in the deck, so it's really fun to be able to play them. So thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like and please subscribe for more TCG Pocket videos here on iStarly TV. And I hope you have a wonderful day. We will see you next time.